So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal link in the description box, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Also, leave us a thumbs up. It helps us get more views.
You know, it's really extraordinary. Since the beginning of this broadcast, my cell phone has rung twice with a call from a heavy-duty Washington lobbyist who sent me a text saying, "Drop Brinson can get you paid by Strange immediately." This is what we're up against. This is the kind of crap that goes on in the swamp. Alex, in the second half hour, we're going to analyze the president's decision yesterday to endorse Senator Luther Strange in the special election in Alabama for the seat of Jeff Sessions. The reason this is important is because the president has unfortunately folded to pressure from Mitch McConnell and is supporting a candidate who does not support the Trump agenda. I view this as a golden opportunity to demonstrate that the president's prepared to punish his Republican opponents. But unfortunately, General Kelly and others have got the president to go along to get along. We'll get into this in the second half hour. I think a golden opportunity was lost this week. The Republicans in Congress have done everything humanly possible to thwart the president's program. And the special election in Alabama afforded the president an excellent opportunity to send a clear message to his Republican opponents that he will go to the mat with those who refuse to support the reform agenda. Unfortunately, shockingly, yesterday, the president endorsed the appointed Senator Luther Strange, who has the support of Mitch McConnell. While I have huge respect for the president, perhaps he's unaware of the fact that Luther Strange, as Attorney General of Alabama, corruptly and unethically held a criminal investigation over the head of disgraced and outgoing Governor Bentley to obtain his appointment to the Senate. Perhaps the president is unaware of the fact that Luther Strange wants to keep the Senate's 60% rule that empowers Chuck Schumer and the Democrats to kill the entire conservative Republican Trump reform agenda. Perhaps the president is unaware of the fact that Luther Strange took a $50,000 contribution from a heavy polluter as a reward for sending 2 letters to the EPA blocking an investigation of the polluter and preventing them from paying the cleanup costs of pollution of the inner city areas of Birmingham. This is really extraordinary. Luther Strange is no friend of the president. Also in that race is Congressman Mo Brooks, who does not admit that he was named after Mo of the Three Stooges, and who is a virulent never-Trumper, who not only attacked Trump before he was the nominee, attacked him while he was the nominee, but also attacked him only weeks ago in this primary. The good news is there is a Trump supporter in this race, Dr. Randy Brinson, who joins me now. Dr. Brinson, welcome to InfoWars.
Well, thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate this opportunity to be with you.
As you know, I am deeply disappointed in the president's decision, or the decision that was foisted upon him by Mitch McConnell. I think he had a golden opportunity to show the Senate Republicans that he's not going to stand for their obstruction and their undermining his program. You are the only candidate in this race who is actually for Donald Trump. I should note that former Supreme Court Justice Roy Moore, who's a good man, is in the race, but all of the polls show that he cannot win this race. He will lose the race, as he had all of his previous statewide races, once he gets into a runoff. The idea of a runoff between Mo Brooks and Luther Strange boggles the mind. 2 never-Trumpers who cannot be counted on to support the president. Why don't you walk through with people the scandal regarding Luther Strange, presumably Attorney General Sessions, and why we are where we are today?
Well, it's a very convoluted path, as you know, Roger. First of all, Luther Strange has 2 ethics violations pending with the Ethics Commission that was filed not by a candidate, but the Secretary of State for campaign finance violations. So those are pending. And so what happened was they were supposed to answer on those complaints, and the Ethics Commission decided to go take a vacation. One of them went off to Canada. And so they put it off till after the election. That's unheard of. So we have that pending. So he could potentially be in the runoff and then be removed or disqualified from the ballot because of this ethics violation. Then more serious one, even on top of that, is this with the Superfund. He basically did the bidding of Drummond Cole, not once, but twice, got campaign finance payments right after that, to the tune of $25,000 each, and basically blocked the EPA from cleaning up the site, of which the state of Alabama already agreed they would go along with the cleanup. And the reason he did that is because Drummond Cole and others would have to pay the fines for the cleanup. And now we see, on top of that, this recent article now by Adam Zagorin that maps out the whole connection between Balch and Bingham law firm, who is another big contributor to Alabama campaigns and Alabama politics, including Luther Strange. And I think somehow Senator Sessions, even though he's a good man, these people that he's surrounded that give him money are not good people. And that's the problem. I think Senator Sessions trusted people that aren't to be trusted. And that's the problem. And many of them have been implicated with connection to Balch and Bingham. And that needs to be investigated, including the U.S. attorney that's a designee. So all these things are just a big wash of corruption. And that's what we need to try to delve into. I truly believe that Donald Trump, this president, was probably told that he feared Mo Brooks might get the nomination or at least be in the runoff. And he didn't want that to happen. So that's why he did what he did. But he got only half the information. He didn't get the whole information that I was running, that the Trump nation is behind me and all of his supporters are behind me. And that's the person that's a real reformer in this election.
Well, you are, of course, a former chairman of the Alabama Christian Coalition, an active in your church and a Bible-believing evangelical Christian. You are an early Trump supporter. You've been endorsed by Citizens for Trump. And for my many critics out there, no, I have no financial relationship with Randy Brinson. No, I am not a consultant to his campaign. I have only one horse in this race. Randy Brinson's a friend of mine. He's a good man. He supports the president's agenda.
And we're digging out all the swamp creatures. We're digging out the swamp creatures. I'm sitting here watching. We're digging out the swamp creatures and trying to get rid of the establishment Republicans. That's our real revolution. The Democrats, we're not going to fix them. They're totally mentally ill and on another planet. But the Republican Party is the real fight. That's where we've got the beachhead, and we've got to start supporting the grassroots hard chargers, not more establishment swamp creatures that have been in the baby swamps to then be sent to the big daddy swamp. Sorry, go ahead.
Look, let's be very clear. Luther Strange is Mitch McConnell's bitch. He will vote against the president when Mitch McConnell directs it to. One of the biggest problems in Washington today is that Republicans don't fear the president anymore. It's been a long time since he's taken a liberal Republican scalp. And therefore, they now believe that you can flout the president, you can undermine him, you can even attack him, as Mitch McConnell did yesterday, and he will do nothing. Alabama was a unique opportunity to show that that's not the case. I believe if Luther Strange makes the runoff, he may get removed because of his looming ethical problems. There is one solid, Bible-based, Trump-supporting conservative in this race who will stand up for the Trump agenda, and that is my friend Randy Brinson.
And let's expand on that. We don't want to send anybody there with any hint of corruption, just bottom line, because we're good people. But plus, exactly, don't send a scalp to the Democrats. Don't send somebody with a crooked toenail up there. We don't want to send career politicians with all their dirt there for multiple reasons. We don't want to give them a whole nother scandal.
Well,
Dr. Brinson, how do you feel about... Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. You nailed it, both of you and Alex. But here's even more important. I have the only plan that can pass with Democrat and Republican votes for Obamacare replacement. If we don't, all we want to do is just repeal. If we don't have the votes to repeal, then we have to have a plan to put in place. And we have that plan in place that will cap Medicaid spending, create competition for Medicaid patients to take care of them. And that will actually work. And we can use that model in Alabama throughout the nation. I just want the opportunity. I'm challenging the White House to let me go meet with the president and his advisors to show him this plan. And I promise you that that thing will get through Congress if we allow that to go forward. That's very important, because otherwise we're going to go bankrupt with Obamacare in the next 6 to 8 months. And then you lose all your majorities. Will be voted out because of inaction by the Republican leadership.
Not only that, but of course, if we lose control of the House, well, then they'll use a trumped up phony charge cooked up by Mr. Mueller to remove our president. And Mitch McConnell will stand on the sidelines and do nothing, probably applaud, actually. So
yeah,
tell us the date of the special election in Alabama, and tell me how you feel about the campaign trail.
Well, August 15th is the big day, Roger. That's next Tuesday. We're right in the thick of it. If you can't poll an election like this, if you're being serious, you can't poll it, because it's going to be a low turnout, middle of the summer election. People are going to be at the beach or the lake or somewhere on that Tuesday, many of them. So it's going to be the hardcore people, and those are people that usually support me. So if they don't get discouraged, this is all to discourage turnout and discourage our people. But if the Trump people turn out, the Trump nation turns out, Citizens for Trump, and the people that supported Trump's agenda, we can still win this race. Because we've got the ideas, we've got the reason to actually have some.
That's right. Trump's not fighting alone. We're out there fighting, and when the swamp has a victory, we can grab that away from them. Grab that victory right out of their jaws and give it to ourselves and the American people and the future. If we get the word out that all over the country, races like this, that when the swamp, tricks Trump into endorsing somebody, it's okay. We all just go against the swamp.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's what we need to do. And the thing is, we just got to fight back, Alex and Roger. We got to fight back with all this misinformation. I think the president was misinformed intentionally. I think he was intentionally misinformed. And if we can get the president's ear, even at this late hour, I think he can take his own heads about who were giving him wrong information. That's been the whole problem with the White House. He's trusting people because he's a trusting person, and he's trusting the wrong people, and they give him misinformation to try to discredit, get their way instead of doing what really needs to be happening for the American people.
It's really extraordinary. Since the beginning of this broadcast, my cell phone has rung twice with a call from a heavy-duty Washington lobbyist who sent me a text saying, "Drop Brinson, can get you paid by Strange immediately." This is what we're up against. This is the kind of crap that goes on in the swamp. I happen to know in the case of Randy's campaign, Dr. Brinson's campaign, the first 5 Republican pollsters he attempted to retain to help him analyze the race were all pressured out of working for him by none other than Mitch Mcconnell. So this is an inside game. There is only one Trump supporter and solid evangelical Christian conservative who can win this race and beat the Democrats, and that's Dr. Randy Brinson. Dr. Brinson, thanks for joining us here at InfoWars.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Roger. Appreciate everything. Appreciate all you do for the American people.
Moving along, I must say I just looked at the 1776 specials at the InfoWars store, and it blows me away.
If you're interested to learn how to create content and spread content, we'll show you how. Go to the Operation How YouTube channel, click on the About button, and then click Message. Send us an email. If you want to engage, become an info warrior, we will train you up.
If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon below the video to get notified when the latest new content drops.
Keep us in your prayers. We get a lot of resistance for putting these videos out, but to Yahweh be the glory.